I'm gonna use some different scarves to make some cute kimonos. First of all, I'm going to use this one for a short little kimono, and I'm going to use this for the sleeves. For this one, I'm gonna make a bigger one, and as you can see, I've stitched two scarves together. They were almost the same length, but not quite. So one of them I just shortened a little bit here, and then I stitched them together. So they are now one big piece. And I'm going to try to cut them at the same time. First of all, I'm going to find the fold here, and then I'm going to fold one side up and the other side up. I'm going to use the fringes here as the front middle part because that looks kind of cool, I think. So that was one side. I'm gonna fold the other one up to this side. So you can see here, I don't let these go all the way up to the center. I keep them a little bit unaligned here because I want this bit to be the neck opening. So actually I can make this a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. So it's gonna be like this. So this is the neck back opening, and this is the front opening going all the way down there. And then I'm just gonna put some wander clips in here to keep them in place. So I'm just gonna cut the other one at the same time because might as well. So the same thing again, like before. First I fold it like this to find the center back. And then I take one end up here on one side, and then I take the other end up on the other side, and I just take it up again and fold it. So you can see here the two sides where the fringes are, and I'm just gonna line it with the other center back because I might as well just cut them both at the same time. So this will be the length of the first one, and this is the length of the other one. Then I need something to measure from. A kimono is nice that it's kind of loose. So right now I just found this jumper dress thing that is a bit loose, at least. It's something I can measure from. And then you can use a shirt, a little jacket or something else. But you can see here, there's not very much space for the sleeve, so it's nice to have some extra material to add. And I do want to probably give it a very generous seam allowance because I want it to be wide and nice and flowy. Up here, I'm not gonna cut because I want this sleeve bit to be as big as possible. So I am just gonna give a generous seam allowance here because I want it to be nice and wide. So I can remove this again. So here you can see the short little kimono will have some quite short sleeves. So that is where you can use some extra material from a different scarf, or if you have something else. And I like to mix and match my pattern, so I'm not so worried about that. I also like to make it easy for myself. So if there already is a nice edge, then I always want to use that instead of having to stitch an edge myself. So of course you can do this once you have actually sewn the kimono together to make sure that you know exactly how long you want the sleeves. Right now I'm just going to do a quick measuring here because I don't want them to be too long. I just don't want them to be short sleeved. Then you have a little bit of extra material for some other time. So once I've stitched the kimono together here up in this shoulder seam, then I can add my little extra piece for the sleeves and make sure that fits in. But that will just be saved for now. That's going to go off to sewing. So here we also have quite some short sleeves, but I'm just going to keep them as they are to make kind of a kimono vest. So to sew this, I'm going to start from here, go all the way over here to the corner and do that on both sides. And then again, going to stitch all the way down here, all the way down to the bottom. And then when this is stitched, you can fold this towards the back and sew that in place as well. Here at the kimono, I've stitched with the normal stitch here all the way along the shoulder seam, and I haven't done any zigzagging or serging here because this won't fray. This is as it is. I've done an overlock stitch all the way down to the bottom here because that are raw edges. And here I have just folded towards the back. Here I've stitched from the front opening to the end of this, and then I have attached the piece of extra material from the other scarf. Once that is attached, I have stitched all the way down here towards the bottom here as well, and I have given it a serger stitch to make sure the edges won't fray. This, I have used the edge of the scarf, so I didn't have to do anything to that. Well, this works out really well, especially if I was wearing something longer here on the bottom. If I had a pair of, well, a nice big jumper on, then that would work really well. And I can still perhaps put something on the sleeves if I want to do that. That is not too late. I love the mix of materials. I love that the fringes are still in use here, that they haven't been taken off. So that works well.